Okay, we've been making enough excuses for you.
Excuse me.
Need to do some push-ups?
Yeah.
You okay? You need to breathe? Okay. All right. Okay, is everyone back from wherever they needed to be? We'd like to call the meeting to order. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. The first item on the agenda is public comment, and I would just like to remind the group that we need to do a roll call first, don't we? Sorry. Roll call. Sharon Lechte, Vice Chair, chairing the meeting tonight.
Rachel Stemich.
Bill Olson.
So that's it. We'd like to open with public comment and remind our audience participants that there will be no comments accepted tonight on the nomination review process, but any other public comments are welcome. Do we have anyone that would like to share anything with us? If you would, feel free to come forward and state it for the record. I can't see anything, so it's all a blur. No response out there? Okay. Thank you so much for showing up tonight. We appreciate your time. All right. So then the next item on the agenda, we will not be approving any minutes tonight because we will be doing that at the May 7th meeting from the last meeting. Correct, Zach?
Yeah, that's fine. And included in the packet is just for the record, for your review, the April 16th meeting minutes.
Okay.
So if you want, you can approve.
Do you want to
those
go ahead
now,
and
or
approve
you
them
can
then?
approve
Are you ready, Bill, since you
Yes.
are here? Okay. All right. So can I entertain a motion for approval of the April 16th meeting?
I reviewed them, I approve.
I'll second.
Okay.
All right.
All those in favor? It's approved. Okay.
And one comment, Vice Chair Lechte, so Commissioner Olson wasn't available to join us on April 16th. So for the record, I ask that you've been able to review the April 16th meeting minutes, and also if you have any ex parte contacts to disclose that for the record as well.
I have no ex parte
All right.
disclosures.
Thank you.
Thank you, Zach, for picking that up. All right. I think that's everything there. So what we need to do now is, as commissioners, we need to agree on the process we want to use for making our nomination on the Pilot Butte Canal.
No,
Well, let's
Central Oregon.
discuss.
Central Oregon Canal.
Oh, sorry, Central Oregon Canal, I'm sorry.
So let's discuss this. What are the options? What are we attempting to do?
Well, we need to make a decision as a commission, and we have options. We can talk about it and deliberate as a group. We can talk about it and then submit our findings privately on the form, submit them to staff, then come back together at our meeting next week if we agree to that, and discuss the findings.
What's Rachel think?
I guess similar to what we did on the first round of nominations, I'm not using that as that we have to use that as a basis, but what worked well for me.
I can't hear Rachel at all.
Sorry.
Rachel.
Based on what we did on the first round of reviews that we did back in September and October, I've personally worked really well for me because I'm able to gather my thoughts, put them on paper using those criteria that we're supposed to be reviewing to, and so that, to me, that works really well because it allows you to just get everything out that you want to list. But as far as how, each individual commissioner responds is, I think, something that we need to discuss because we need to, as a commission, come to an agreement. Is that correct?
Yes.
So.
Is a public hearing an option to this?
I don't believe so anymore. Is it, Zach? It's closed public comment, isn't it?
Correct, yeah. So on the 16th, we held a meeting to receive oral comments, and we had a week for the public to provide written comments. Mm-hmm. So it's not a public hearing, but it's a public meeting in which the commission has received comments on the nomination.
Plus, the public is invited to sit in the audience as we deliberate next Monday.
Correct.
Well, it seems to me that's the realm then. That's how the meeting's got to come down, that we will deliberate at the next meeting.
Yeah.
So I think there's no,
Well, the other item too is just because of the amount of information that has come before us in the last, 3+ weeks, is a lot to digest. And I'm still actually going through a fair amount of it myself. I don't know about you, but so that it really, I mean, I can't tell you how seriously we take this and wanting to make sure that we're reviewing this according to the guidelines that we're supposed to be following. So I want to make sure that we've had a thorough amount of time to get through that. So I think an extra week is going to be beneficial.
did you need a motion, or is this a,
Well, we have to agree
oh, I'm
on the
asking.
process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. In a form of a motion, or
I'm not
just?
sure it has to be a motion.
Not necessarily. I would suggest that it's more just an understanding of when the commission walks in on May 7th, you all have an understanding of how the meeting is going to be conducted. And so, Commissioner Stimich, if you want to write everything down and bring that to the meeting and
Yeah.
you share that with the group, that's fine as well. If other commissioners just want to discuss at the meeting on May 7th, that's okay as well.
Well, and I think we will. I think the opinion will be individually presented, and I suspect we will come to some type of conclusion at that time.
What
Correct.
about if you don't want to discuss publicly your opinion?
Oh, I think we have
accommodate the
to.
other commissioners,
I think we have to.
individually or as a group?
I think individually and as a group. I don't think, I don't think anybody has anything to hide.
Well, I just want to
Yeah.
make sure that we've been thoughtful of that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
No,
All
I
right.
think it's a public, not a public hearing, but I do think it's a
Process.
public process, correct?
All right.
Exactly.
And so, if I may, ultimately, the goal is to fill out the National Register nomination evaluation sheet, which the commission has. And as we heard from Ian Johnson on the 16th, filling this out and submitting it to the State Historic Preservation Office and their committee is sufficient for a comment on the nomination. If the commission wants to provide anything else, they're certainly welcome to, but at the end of the day, we need to have this sheet filled out.
And last time, each of the individual commissioners completed that, submitted it.
Correct, and we also had the opportunity
To
to add our own
Correct.
opinions,
Right,
right?
so then.
And that was in the
question is,
accompanying
Should
letter.
we ask the commissioners to come to the meeting with their forms in draft mode, so that if you don't want to add it, we can just turn it into staff?
Well, yeah,
compile?
I would, because we may change some opinions
Right,
during
As
that
the discussion
discussion. So,
Okay.
yeah, I would say, yeah, don't preload.
so don't come with it
Right.
filled out.
Well, another idea to think about is to have your notes, your opinions from the nomination review listed on here, but after the discussion, I can have the final version where the commission votes on deciding, are we okay with the nomination's integrity? Yes or no? And you could vote on that. Are we okay, or do we have concerns with the description of the nomination? You can vote on that. And from my understanding, what I gathered from Ian's talk he gave us on the 16th is that the commission doesn't have to unanimously agree with each one of these review criteria. The commission could have concerns on the integrity or one of the other ones, but feel okay with all the other ones. So I would suggest for the commission to consider is you all come forward on May 7th with your comments, but then we go through each criterion for the nomination review and have the commission actually vote. Are we in favor of approving this with an okay check, or are there concerns that we need to check and address?
Okay.
I agree. That would be, I mean, that's the only way I think we can do it.
I think that'll be a really productive way to do it and do it, each criteria one at a time. Yeah.
Okay, so given that, we need to allow probably an hour to an hour and a half for that discussion on the high ends,
Not-
on the agenda next time. Okay,
We'll be
any
on.
other discussion on the nomination process
No.
as commissioners?
No.
Concerns there? Any additional information needed?
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I think there's enough information out there at this point in time.
Yeah.
I have one comment, one extra comment that came in. My server didn't get it until 1:30 in the morning on Thursday, but it's an email from Susan Grund, and it looks like it was actually sent on Monday, April 23rd at 4:30. So if it's all right with the commission, I'll pass this out as it did.
Sure.
It met the requirements to be in by 5 p.m. It's just, I think we had a technological glitch and didn't get it till Thursday. So is that all right to hand out?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, so Zach, if we then need to, I want to add one agenda to the item tonight, and then if we need to modify the public agenda that was sent out today for the meeting on Monday, do we do that now?
Well, it depends if it's on the Central Oregon Canal.
Yes.
We can speak to that. There are other commissioners and Chair
Right.
Hording Jones will be here on the 7th as well. So we just need to be mindful of how we proceed with that and checking in with Chair Hording Jones.
Okay. Because I'm very concerned about time. There's on the planned agenda for the 7th, there are 2 items that are required, that have to move forward for June action for other, then for on other things. And then we have one thing that's being driven by a contract. And so, timing wise and being respectful of everyone's time, I think that's what needs to be modified. Because if I just ran out of timeline for the agenda meeting for next Monday night, and I'm not willing to stay here till 9 o'clock. I'm not willing to stay till 8. I think that's ridiculous.
Could that be handled by a consent agenda?
Well, what?
Those 3 items you were concerned with?
No, because we got the nomination review, which we need to now
Oh,
allow
yeah,
an hour and a half for.
Correct.
You got this, I'm worried about the sisters RLS update and how to make best use of her time. So,
All right.
that's all. I'll just leave it at that.
There you go, Madam Chair.
And then, Rachel, you wanted to add tonight the Preservation Month update?
Yes, just really quickly, the Preservation Month kickoff is actually going to be this Wednesday, the 2nd. It's at Redmond City Hall this year. It's from 5 to 7. What we'll be doing is promotion of the month's events that we have planned. We have a lot of volunteer organizations that are going to be contributing. Deschutes Land Trust, the Public Library, Bowman Museum, Redmond Parks and Rec. A lot of great stuff's happening. So I want to make sure that you check out. If you're interested, go to the Deschutes Historic Museum's website. They have a link there for all of the events. We got dozens of things happening. So I want to make sure that we try to promote the kickoff as much as we can. So Redmond City Hall, the 2nd on Wednesday. Hope to see you there.
Thank you for that. Yeah, so that should be, we got a plethora of activities that we
Yeah.
should be really proud of as a county. I know they really stand out in the state, so, yeah. So we were just discussing, Bill and I quietly, do you want to start working on the nomination process tonight then, or not?
I'd be okay. I'd be okay with that. I don't really, like I said, I haven't gone through absolutely everything again. It's just,
So it sounds like we're not ready.
Right, quite ready, okay.
Just want to make sure, well, in respect of everyone's time.
Can we ask staff if they have anything they would like to, other than anything else you want to talk about?
On the agenda or
About
towards the
towards the
nomination?
nomination. Because we got a room full of people here.
I know.
And I
wanna
feel like
be
we,
respectful of their time.
yeah, owe them something.
well, and if you have, I mean, I'd like to hear what your thoughts are. And that's one thing we haven't had the opportunity to do in any sort of thoroughness is that. So, I mean, I have no problem like hearing. I don't have my own yet. So, like I said, this is a difficult process. So, at least for me, it is.
Well, it is a process, and I think it's an important process, but I also do believe that it is a public process. I do think there's a lot of give and take on both sides of this with regard to how this should be resolved. And that's my greatest concern, is that we do get everybody's opinion out there, either for or against, but everybody needs to have their opportunity to speak about it and to present their concerns. I'm not ready to make those decisions tonight, but I want to open up, and I want the people to know that we're here for you, that we will listen to you, and we will take all that into consideration, as well as COID. You know, we're going to listen to them.
Which is what we did at the last meeting. Yep.
So we're going to, yeah. So that's all I got, yeah.
Okay, so it sounds like nothing more to talk about here, unless
Yes,
staff has
Peter.
something
Yeah.
on the nomination specifically? No?
I have no other comments. I'm glad I got in that last email from Susan Grund. Also, just mention that I sent out to the commission the National Register Bulletin on how to apply National Register criteria for evaluation. So I hope that's helpful in your review.
We used it last time. It's
Yeah.
very helpful. Good. Okay, so nothing more there?
Nothing.
Hey,
I-
your staff comments, go for it.
All right, so we're prepared to meet on May 7th. The meeting packet went out and via email to the commissioners this afternoon. It's also posted on the website for the public to access. We do have a very busy agenda scheduled for May 7th. Peter, if you would like to speak on how flexible we can be with that agenda to address Vice Chair Lecty's comments.
Yeah. So for the record, Peter Gutowski, Deschutes County Planning Manager. Madam Chair, what I think our focus is really two parts. Obviously, there's great interest in the HLC's deliberation on the Central Oregon Canal nomination. Once that's completed, the agenda can certainly be adjusted at the discretion of the commission and the chair. Once the canal discussion and deliberation is finished, then Vice Chair Lecty will step aside to allow Chris Hording Jones, the currently designated chairperson, convene the meeting. And at that point, just to be mindful of everyone's time, of course, we want to announce May Preservation Month, building on Commissioner Stemich's remarks today about all the different activities that are occurring. The reconnaissance level survey update, I don't think is going to be too lengthy. But if the will of the commission is to prioritize the agenda differently than we've laid out, we can certainly do that. I know, as Nick pointed out, on the 16th, this is the time of year where we present the Community Development Department's work plan, specifically planning related, and always welcome the Historic Landmarks Commission's input on that and how we should prioritize certain tasks specifically for historic preservation. So that could be reprioritized. And then to the extent that, for example, any commissioners have other obligations that evening, that one can certainly, step aside and allow the colleagues, like, for example, if Vice Chair Lecty has other obligations that evening, and we're at the point where the reconnaissance level survey update is being discussed, well, we can continue that discussion with the rest of the commission, and Zechariah can recap it for Commissioner Lecty at another, over an email or through a phone conversation. All things being equal, I think the most time-consuming update will be, the time-consuming agenda item will be the canal nomination. I think the rest of it, the work plan, Nick Lelak has a PowerPoint presentation which was shared with the commission. To the extent that there's audience members that stay for that, we'd probably share that again and invite public comments and then open it.
Reading here.
Yes.
Okay, And so what, you need to allow, what, 15 minutes on the agenda for that, or 30?
You know, I think it's going to depend on how many people decide that they want to offer their remarks on the work plan as it pertains to historic preservation or any other item that they have.
Because that's important.
It is, and I think if we have a turnout like tonight and everyone's really interested in offering their remarks, then you figure several minutes for public comment, and then we turn it over to the commission. You would be making a recommendation to the Board of County Commissioners in terms of what you heard that evening and how it fits in with the work plan. So I think the CDD work plan would be potentially the second item that generates some time, and then from there. Again, I think the reconnaissance level survey update we can let the consultant know that being succinct and to the point and providing that update is important for the commission, given the items on the agenda. And then I mentioned the preservation month. So all things being equal, I would like to safely assume that you won't be here till 9, that you wouldn't be here presumably past 8 o'clock. But again, everything is going to be dependent on I think the robust discussion that everybody behind us is anticipating regarding the Central Oregon Canal. But we'll let Chris Horting Jones know that there may be a desire to reprioritize the agenda based on the audience, and especially after the canal nomination, who's interested in what topic. And then we can organize it accordingly and make sure that everyone's time on the commission is structured so that you can provide the necessary feedback, and we don't obligate the whole commission to stay unnecessarily for a lengthy meeting. So we are mindful of that, and we'll work with you accordingly.
Yeah, Peter, I think what I was being more mindful of is that this is a huge investment by our commission and our only main work for the year, that we've spent our grant money on. And I would like to see time appropriately allocated to that.
Great.
With an interactive discussion, and I don't believe we can do that after these other agenda items.
Okay.
So that's what I was trying to infer. Instead of having someone travel here for 5 minutes to talk to us, let's plan it where we can get 30 minutes to 45 on an agenda. Maybe we need to cancel the August meeting, move it to July to meet the contract deliverables, and let's have a robust discussion then with our consultant. That's what I was trying to get at.
Right.
Because it's huge. Again, it impacts sisters and it impacts the county.
Well, and did you get a sense from Diane Painter? I mean, I think she's coming, the consultant is coming out here anyways to do some of the work.
She can come back.
So, we're just mindful also of, with all due respect, I think we're mindful of the time that she's putting in here. And so if the commission, I think the contract acknowledges that there's an opportunity to provide an update, and we can certainly, we want to be mindful of the commission's interest in really thoroughly understanding the work that's been done to date, which is what I'm hearing, and that in the event that this agenda is overwhelming and not providing enough time, we can do what we can to let the consultant know, and we'll do what we can. I just want to be honest that she may have already purchased the tickets to come out here and do some of the work. So I know in the past for May Preservation Month, we've had consultant updates. So there's some some precedent for this, and I'm also mindful that that other commissioners may feel comfortable with having a meeting that maybe goes to 8 o'clock. I mean, I know this commission doesn't typically have those, but I just want to be mindful of the acting chair's desire, but we also will have potentially some ex officio members back, Chris Horting Jones. And so if it's the will of the commission on the 16th to respectfully ask the consultant to look to other ways to provide the update, then I think that's the direction we need. At the same time, maybe the agenda item goes quicker than anticipated, and everyone's stamina is high enough to listen to the presentation. But of course, we look to the commission for guidance and direction. But we'll let Ms. Painter know of the lengthy agenda, and the possibility of having to come up with an alternative approach for an update. So I want to be respectful to
Well, I just
all
want
of
to
you.
be respectful of their time,
Yeah,
because I know what that's like to get shorted. Okay, good.
Thank
All right.
you.
Any other staff comments? Motion for adjournment?
I would move that we adjourn this meeting and prepare for the May 7th.
I second that.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, meeting's adjourned. Thank you.